Here we go. What?
You buy a plate.
I buy a plate. I'm not using it for food. You know what I'm using the plate for? I'm using it to keep my assorted odds and ends on my counter. That's what I'm using my plate for. Do I need a tablet?
No, but now.
No. Why not?
It's the same reason why I don't have to tell you my soup bowl when I want to use it for food. Because there's any reasons. But I don't have to tell you it's not.
So now, why, if I buy a thing that I'm using only for wrapped candies, why do I need tablet?
I mean, as long as you're not using wrapped candy, you don't have to tablet.
You just told me if I have a bowl that's in my bathroom that I use for cosmetics, of course I'm saying it's for cosmetics.
So why do you have to?
Right, but
why razor? You score. You only.
It's actually nothing on it.
We didn't pass on a razor to score bread.
It's like another
Now
I want to use it for.
Oh, so then you get involved in a world war that I'm using I'm using a klei schayra basically. I'm using an item which is my world. What's a klei schayra? Klei schayra is an item that in my world is not chayiv in tefillah. So using an item that in my world is not chayiv in tefillah, and now I want to use it for tefillah. Madinah. It's going to be fine when you get involved in it. That's not like this. Yeah, and using bakra is going to be mutter. Bakra is going to be a problem. Akra is a machlekes, but whatever it is, that's for you, Mish.
How now do you want to use in the tefillah? For wrapped candies?
Sorry? Wrapped candies. Wrapped candies.
No, and now you want to use it for cookies.
No. For wrapped candies, that's what we started with.
For wrapped candies,
There is
what?
one.
Then the answer is that the candy is in a wrapper. It's not being used for food. And therefore, just like we hold that if I have parchment paper on the dish, it's bottled to the dish, and it would not obviate tefillah, would not negate tefillah. So too, if I have a wrapped candy, it's going to be bottled to the candy, and now it's going to all subsume itself, and it's not going to require tefillah. It goes other way.
So we're saying that the wrapper's not there?
We're saying the wrapper is its item, not with the bowl, with the candy. Therefore, the candy's not there. Fascinatingly
Therefore,
enough.
the candy's not there.
Mashkoza.
And
I find it hard to say that.
Therefore, it does not require tefillah.
Therefore, it does not require tefillah or tefillah without a bracha.
Why tefillah without a bracha?
Oh, so now why tefillah without a bracha?
I don't know. You have to say a whole.
Well, you're saying
you
it's
say-
no
you say
So the answer is now is where your answer comes in. It's a plate. It's a sakin.
But if it's not.
But it's a socket in the kitchen. It's no food.
What you're saying it's not. It is the picture on the
Good.
wall.
So I think I don't think anyone
Has a dish just for candy.
with perfect with absolute precision could say because it's used with a wrapper, therefore it mamish isn't food. I don't know. That's why I believe over here. I think the answer is Utah believes. To me, I don't think you can make a bracha on such an item. That's where dish used specifically for wrappers.
Because we just did this today.
Yeah.
Of
course. But now, Bala Daita will not work, will not apply if you're being real. Meaning,
no, it's a plate.
No. So according to you, if I have a plate that I use in my bathroom for cosmetics, I have tablet? No. Because that's the chiddush of Tevilas Keilim.
If you use it for food, yes.
If you use it for food.
If you use it for the candy.
Yeah, I'm not using it for food.
Masking. If you don't use it for candy, masking. It doesn't have to be
Good. So why without a bracha?
One day you wake up and you have to use it for cookies.
I think the reason out of bracha is because I think lemaisa is I think lemaisa. Yeah, let's say it's a good tzarchin. It's something we have to look into. Right. Something called a double boiler. Anyone know what a double boiler is?
Sure.
No.
Melt chocolate.
Melt chocolate. So what is it? It's basically it's a pot with a pot. It's a pot with a pot.
Yeah, it's a regular pot.
Oh, it's a regular pot, and inside the regular pot also. Therefore, what's the din? Tefillah the bracha. I don't really know what the shayla is.
No one uses a special pot just for that.
Yes, they do. They sell. It's called double boiler.
Well, even if it's a special pot for that, it's still.
No, the question would be the outside pot, I guess. The outside pot is basically functioning as a fire.
What's the point of the pieces?
Is it even possible to tell them about the other? Is it the double piece?
Yesh Lai in the Metzias, and hopefully Rabbi Goldberg will be popping in any moment with the Metzias for us.
You put one pot with water, and you boil water, and you put a bowl on top of it, and you melt the chocolate in there.
And it won't melt with that just on fire?
No, it'll burn the chocolate.
I mean, if you're stirring the whole time, it's fine.
Dough hook.
What's it made out of?
Everything that we don't define is made out of metal. Dough hook. Madinai.
Tefillah without a bracha.
To that a bracha. Unless
Unless you eat raw dough.
unless you eat raw dough, which is unless you are helping.
Like the body.
If you're creating a cookie dough business
Hell yeah.
and you are making cookie dough, that's all you're doing, and you're going to eat it raw. So then your dough hook is essentially a regular piece of spoon that's mixing something. Then you would need a bracha. Drinking glasses, tefillah with a bracha. Earthenware, non-glazed, no tefillah. Again, I think it's not a shayla we spoke about. An egg cup.
What's an egg
The
cup?
egg's not in
Just
the
where
shell.
you beat it in?
It's not in the shell, right?
Egg is in the shell.
It is?
No,
It's
no,
not in the shell?
Egg cup, I believe what I mean.
Important.
I'll get to egg separator in a minute. Egg cup is just a thing you crack the egg into. People have a special cup. Why do people have a special cup?
Oh.
I believe.
Gross to use
It
a
doesn't,
regular
no,
cup.
it doesn't crack the glass when you mix it.
Okay, I think it actually comes from a Jewish source. I believe it comes from a Jewish source.
So you can see
The same reason what?
So you can see blood.
But it wouldn't be
Va'oid, I believe the same reason people have an egg pot is there is sources, maybe the Chassidish Sfarim, I don't remember, that in case there would be a time that the egg would be treif, meaning they would have a blood spot, then it would it's not really treif, so
Right.
I don't really know. I don't really know.
Cups that use
Sorry, this is
salt
wrong.
boiled egg.
That's what
Why?
I thought it was.
Why?
Yeah.
Just feel like that bracha.
Why should we have bracha?
If you
Well,
only use
you
it for
ever
the
actually
egg,
see
once
one
it
of
makes it sound like that,
Not
Yeah.
in real life.
so then there's no reason that it should be a bracha because it's egg.
It's
We're
raw.
on the
It's
toast,
raw.
we're not
So-
eating egg.
So Shaila is, even if you have an egg cup, you don't use it for anything else?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what this egg cup is, but if
Yeah, so I guess the Shulchan would be an asterisk, and the answer is whether used for other items.
Is
What
this
about
your
those
notes?
cups
These are
that-
Yeah,
yours.
yes, my notes.
What book is this taken out of?
Mine.
You have a book on Hilchos Mikvah?
Not published yet, but hopefully one day, B'siyat Shnai.
What about those cups
Am I
that
gonna get
have,
cheaper because I don't need these pages?
There you go. Now they're all wrong. An egg separator, Madinoi. We spoke about this. What? Egg separator. So chayra tefillah without a bracha. Chayra tefillah without a bracha is an egg separator. Is you crack the egg in it, it holds the yolk, and the white falls away. So we spoke about the fact that maybe this should be like the barzilin. Maybe this should be that a mamish is doing a tikkun study on a raw item, which would be the svara to say no tefillah. Which would be the svara to say no tefillah. And I think there could be one to say there would be makom to be makel.
So
I believe. Yeah?
So why do we do tefillah at all? Like, I don't understand.
What does that mean?
It's only a preparatory thing.
Right. So again, so I just said, I agree. I said, I think there would be a very strong svara on an egg separator that one would say that even the I'll tell you.
Also,
the,
egg cup, like all
Egg
this,
cup is the
right?
same thing, right?
No.
Yeah.
So an egg cup, no. An egg cup
It's
is
just
a
like
nice, it's a cup. So then it's more to the knife. The sagit shel shchita, you have to remember, sagit shel shchita you would never use for anything else. Aber stein and shach, it's a sakin, is a sakin. So once I have an item that is, which by the way brings us back to the dish for the candies. Once you have an item which its mahus is used for other items, it's going to be very hard to get out of tefillah. Now, whether you'll make a bracha will depend on the usage of the item. I think an egg cup, the reason why one would say to make a bracha, because I believe when you're cooking, you use it for eggs, and something tells me if you want to put a cup of water into the pot, you would use it also. So I think if you were to talk to people that have an egg cup, they probably use it in cooking for other items, and therefore it's a cup, and therefore that's, I believe, the reason why we'll call it the pashtus would be to make a bracha. So it says, no, I only use it for eggs and eina chanami. Now,
No, but so let's go back to your cookie, the dish. It's the same thing as sagit shel shchita.
no, I'm sorry. Where there's a fundamental mistake everyone's making. What's the deal with measuring utensils? Measuring cup. Madina.
We're not there.
No. We have to.
We're there.
This is the problem. My deal with the measuring cup is a mistake that everyone's making. We're taking the shach too far. Everyone is going too far. Everyone is saying it's raw. It's true, but there's something. It's like a shechita or a tishmisha. There's something that this is the way I cook. No one's going to say a spoon. No, it's a spoon. It's a cup. A measuring cup is a critical ingredient in the cooking process. And therefore, no one is going to say that you don't make a bracha on it. What do you mean it's for all raw? So first of all, measuring cup is not true because you obviously use it for cooked ingredients also. I'm just, the little measuring spoons, right? Same thing. What do you mean it's baking soda and baking powder? And okay, but sugar is edible. But again, even though it's a preparatory step, it's still a critical step. So once it's a critical step, no one's going to say not to make a bracha. No one in the world ever said that. Who says what? Everyone in the world says you make a bracha on a measuring cup and a measuring spoon and all these things. No one ever says elsewhere. I'm reading here from before. It's measuring spoon. You make a bracha.
Again, we don't go like the Rosh Hashanah, but according to Rosh Hashanah, you wouldn't.
According to Rosh Hashanah, Yuvad, they would. Yuvad, they would. 100% would. First of all, it's used for items that are also edible. Number one.
Okay.
Number two is that it's once it's a critical ingredient part of the process, no one's gonna say not. No one's gonna say not. I don't believe the Aruch Shach will disagree. And again, I'll just go very high-thing just to prove the point. You go right before this is a measuring spoon. So what am I bringing out from here is that you can only go so far when it comes to these svaras. So when you have something like we're discussing right now, an egg separator, okay, now we can talk. So now we have an item that's used on raw, and it's doing a tikkun study, and it could do nothing else. So now we already have svaras to talk with. So now we would come into a fight whether you make tefillah without a bracha, or maybe someone would even come along and say you don't have to do tefillah. It's like barzlim. Now that line to go from tefillah without a bracha to no tefillah to make a barzlim, we all understand is not a simple line to make. But one could do that if an egg separator is not such a critical ingredient. But when it comes to mashal to the egg cup, an egg cup is probably like a measuring spoon. It's used for multiple items, and therefore it's fine. And therefore I believe that's why the egg cup would have a bracha, and I think that's why the egg separator would have no bracha. Or maybe someone would say no tefillah. I definitely could understand that by the egg separator, because I do think it is a thing that maybe you don't even really need, and maybe it's mamish like the barzlim. I don't know. This is one of those things you have to talk to people that use them. I'm chayshish that the reason people use them is that they do a much better job. Even though I told this guy that l'chayr doesn't need tefillah. Again, I understand that. I think it would be one of these things that you could handle about an egg separator. Okay, an egg slicer is a naik tefillah the bracha. An egg yolk brush. So again, here's another good example. So it's made out of what? The bristles are metal? That's ridiculous.
That's what I said yesterday, and everyone's like, of course they're made out of metal.
What, the brush you brush the challah with?
Yeah.
It can't be made out of metal.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Whoever fell on their head into the bristle made of metal is.
What about a grill brush?
That's just for cleaning anyway, it'll be fine. Yeah, that's made out of metal. That's the biggest riot. That egg brush is not made out of metal. When you're brushing your grill or when you're brushing egg.
I said yesterday someone jumped up.
Okay,
You're wrong. But
someone could search.
Yes.
You could check. I don't believe they make an egg brush, and that's why I believe there's no tefillah. Why it's even here? L'chayra, it's plastic head, rubber. Oh, I have to share. Someone sent me an email. A lovely friend. His name is David Brownstein, and he sent me the following email. I just want to share this with you. Yesterday, he was in Philly. He was in Philly, davening mincha with his son, and Rav Dino Lasher Kleiman was there. So he asked Rav Dino Lasher, what's the chilek between aluminum and plastic? Meaning, if you're going to say that aluminum is nichlal, which we mentioned that maybe there's a shikul Torah that you could say. He said,
Wait, the question is plastic.
yeah, plastic shneitz vila. So you know what you sounded?
Shmuel Tevilas Plastic?
This is an email that was received Tuesday, September 19th at 10:29 a.m. from an Ish Neman.
With or without a bracha?
What?
With or without a bracha?
No, Vadu that a bracha.
For multiple use. If used multiple times.
Yeah. Again, no. I want to clarify. Chavra, I don't believe. Let me explain what this means. I don't believe.
What was it Yaakov's?
Yaakov was on aluminum. Rav Yaakov concluded, and I wonder if that's the Torah over here. I would love to hear. I wonder if he wrote about it. But Rav Yaakov concluded, even though we have al as far as the Welt, that aluminum should be potter, al totally shish matachais. Lemaisa Rav Yaakov was noig to toivel it. Why? Because it's like glass. So that binyan l'chayra is the same binyan that one would say by plastic. Now there is a makom l'chayra. Oh, what's your chalik?
Aluminum is metal, or plastic is not
So
metal.
that's good.
Right,
As we always say.
Said also, it's not with a 6, but it's metal.
Wait, but aluminum.
Svaral.
You said it's because it's like.
So no, so there is a Torah.
But you
there
always
is-
say that on something that's metal.
No.
You say that's wrong.
So then just
No.
say that aluminum you type because it's metal, even though it's not.
No. I would like to explain the question that you're asking, and why there could be a chiluk. Again, let me explain to you. The Chalkis Yaakov discusses what everyone here is discussing. The Chalkis Yaakov asks this kasha. and he says that, and he comes to machalik within the world. Exactly.
Who's that?
Rav Bresh.
He's when he says that Mechubar L'Kafir, right?
Yeah, 1 second. I don't remember. Someone asked, and maybe it was the Mishnah Lash. Someone asked this kasha, and someone said that how could we say aluminum yes and glass and plastic no, meaning and just auto glass, and they went very deep in the Hilchos Tumah V'Tayra, and they said that aluminum is shaykh to the halachis of. I don't remember what it was. But there is a way to be
He
machalik.
said, maybe Tumatara, a fushi Tumalay, whatever. So even though it's matter, we're not going to make Tumatara because.
I don't remember. You could be machalik. The point is, you could be machalik. Brother Shmuel was not machalik. You could be machalik. Let's take one more second. This is important. 1 second.
So what was his dinner, Shmuel?
If I see him tonight,
You this you asked him.
I'm not talking about.
1 second.
Hopefully I'll see him. I'll come back and see him.
I'm serious, if we're going to get him, we're just not.
Here we go.
If I see him, I'll ask him.
If you don't see him, go find him.
I'll see him, yeah.
He's literally in Shmuel's town. We're not going to
Literally just going.
let the guy tell you that. You don't decide for him. Right?
Someone said, didn't we talk about this, that there's a srach tom on it? No one knows what I'm talking about? I shared this with someone.
Srach Tuman aluminum?
That once something is metal, it's nichlal in the gzira, so there would be a srach tuma. You went into the whole dina of tuma. No one knows what I'm talking about?
I think you're talking about Shmuel said that. I didn't see the whole piece.
I told someone. I gave it to you. Which piece did I give you?
Here, I have it.
So Moshe, what is it?
No, Yasha.
Oh, very good. The Emes Yaakov Alein. Thank you. Here, let me see it.
I don't know where it is.
Yeah, Chavra. The Emes Yaakov Alein comes along and he makes this chilik. He says, meaning, because Rav Yaakov doesn't believe, ostensibly, that aluminum should have tefillah. But he's bothered, what about Klei Zchuchas? That's really the whole tshuva. Now, b'seiv hadavar, he's not willing to be semich on the shtickle Torah. But in the shtickle Torah, he's mechalik, and he says that metal is within the parsha, and there is a srach toma that there would be gzira on aluminum up to other metals. Masha'inkin glass has no toma, and therefore that's how he wants to be mechalik, and he wanted to see that aluminum is even less than glass. That's what this tshuva here. Everyone could see this tshuva. It's a fascinating tshuva. But Elamaisa, Rav Shmuel apparently was of the opinion. Now, I just want to quantify, and this is really what the Minchas Yitzchak writes. When he says that when they're chayshish, that plastic requires tefillah, they're not talking about disposable cups. Because any svara that we've given for disposable certainly will apply. They're talking about hard plastic. They're talking about a hard plastic, something that's a kli. You know, and this Lamaisa, Rav Yitzchak Berkowitz as well, who's it's not so fair, he's the Einikel of the Minchas Yitzchak, he as well titles hard plastic. So either way, that is a message from Rav Shmuel. Anyone could quantify and clarify weiter. Okay, next. Egg beaters, mixers, Madinai.
Feel without a bracha.
Tefillah without a bracha, why without a bracha?
Because it's raw.
Because it's raw.
But it's necessary.
But as I wrote on the bottom of here, which I believe is correct, often the same beaters are used for what? They're used for icing and frosting, and then you would need a bracha.
What?
Very good.
Exactly what you said.
What did he say? I didn't hear what?
Raw and also necessary.
Right, that's how it is, because it's important for this.
That's why no
Even if
bracha
you-
on egg. If you have it just for eggs, no bracha. But often you use it to make frosting and icings and whatnot, that same piece,
Yes.
and then l'chayr you make a bracha. An electric knife,
Body.
Who needs electric knife?
I have no clue.
What is an electric
Mamish
knife?
second, be
I
careful.
don't have.
Take your finger off.
What's an electric knife?
Very dangerous. Very
Electric knife
dangerous.
when you're making out.
Oh, here we go. We're not getting involved in emotional discussion. But
What's an electric knife?
what's it like?
Chainsaw.
Two blades.
That's a chainsaw.
What?
I don't understand it.
What they have
You have to
in
get
those
to work
No,
this out.
two blades go like this.
1 second.
Go like
The
this.
chiddush is l'chayr, the handle has to be type of
You know
also.
how hard it's
The chiddush is the handle. L'chayr is a yadikli. which is when you get to immersion blender, it's the same thing. It's the zhuzher, the handle, l'chayr is a yad, and the pasha is the whole thing should be titled together.
Why does that become more of a
The
yad?
plug, okay, right over here requires tefillah. That's yesh lai, and that's based on
And if you don't tell the plug,
Ramesha
then you have
Sternbach.
a chatzitza, no?
What do you say?
If you don't tell the plug, then you have a chatzitza.
That's what Ramesha Sternbach says. Our cholkim, we never spoke about it yet. Enamel we spoke about is tefillah without a bracha. Why we weren't sure, but that's what the Paiskim said. Flour, that's silverware tefillah with a bracha. Flour sifter, madinai.
It's only used on raw.
Right, so usually it's only used for raw, and therefore it would be no bracha. What if it's used for anything you can use a sifter for?
No.
Anyone?
On cooked stuff,
Yeah, what items can you put in a sifter?
confectionery sugar to pour it over your cake.
I don't think you put it in a flour
You do.
sifter, it's a different
Flour
item.
sifter?
It's a
You
different
do.
item.
And you go like this.
No, it's a
You could
different
use
item. It's made for confection
it.
sugar.
You could use it.
It's not the
It's
whole
very
thing.
similar. No.
It's smaller holes.
It really comes down to three questions. Though.
Yes,
Pretty much,
yes.
Is it raw?
Yes.
Is it necessary?
Yes.
Does it have other uses?
Yes. Which is basically the three ways of being machalik between a sagishal shchita and a barzlin. Which is, again, we're being very broad because, Lamaisa, we have a massive machlek achrayim over here, but we're trying to figure out once you're going to have, now the difference is I don't know if it's full math, but you basically, once something's going to be real food, you're basically, it's automatically going to be out of the category. If something's going to be raw, the story will begin, because then you have sagishal shchita versus barzlin. And then you have to go with a minor tikkun versus it is a kli that could do something else. That's the basic way that the place are machalik between the two. I agree with you. A food processor, what's the din?
It should.
It's for the
Place
bracha.
with bracha.
Feel the bracha. Pashas the machine. You don't have to table if it's going to break. Definitely based on all the other stars that we said. A food scale.
And why would the machine? Because it's a yad.
Yeah, because it's an ashtamshus.
If it was a yad, then it would have to be.
Yeah, that's why it would a yes have to.
Oh, I would, but
Yeah.
I thought we said it doesn't because it's two different
No,
entities.
You didn't say
There is markup to say that it's two different entities, and
No, you just said
therefore
because it's gonna break, not within two different entities.
that.
I mean,
If it's
because
not going to break, I don't care. I'm just going to table it. Wait.
No, but why you didn't put that down here?
Because again, this is the svara why lemaisa you don't have to do it. If you don't worry, if I'm not worried something's going to break, it could be 52 entities, but lemaisa should all go in together. That's the Shulchan Aruch. That's the kais shel
But now
kais
it's not a
mechuber.
yad. It might be its own thing. It might not be a yad.
No, but no one's going to be brave enough to say that something that's used together is not a yad. That's the Shulchan Aruch. It's used together. So now, if you have a svara to say that it might break, and you have a svara that it is lemaisa comes apart, that's where the
That's
Paiskim
the
are
same thing
going
as
to
a
make.
knife. It's the same thing as a food process, as a handful in there. The way you're saying now, it's the same thing as a zhuzh.
It should be. That's where lechatchila it should be tabled. Elamai, it's going to break. So then you get going
Then
again.
you have the same problem with the zhuzh. That
If it's going to break, yeah. The difference is the lemais. We all know that the immersion blenders don't break. It's just mitzias. They're very simple appliance. They don't really do
they're
it.
supposed to be inside of them.
And yeah, they're made to get wet. Yeah, in a chaim. A food scale. So again, a food scale. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. I don't know. What does Elam say when we're all said and done?
if you're never going to use it for
Well,
What's the
let me
shaila?
just tell you
Is
two
it considered
mitzias.
essential?
There's
What's
two
the shaila?
mitzias with
I feel like
food
anyone
scales.
that has it is
What's
using
it?
it for.
No, let me just say the two mitzias, and then we could down. I'll just tell you what the mitzias is from what I'm aware of. There's one mitzias that a food scale is used to bake. It's like a measuring cup. Then instead of adding in half a cup, I add in 500 grams. And on my food scale, I have a bin or something. And in that bin, I slowly pour in my sugar. Okay, 500 grams. Boom. Pour in my flour, 250 grams. Boom. That's one mitzias. What time is it? It's Meir now.
40. It says 40.
It's here at 5:30. It's early, no? It's not Meir yet.
No,
I'm dabbing in the conference room.
Oh, is it Meir here?
There will be, I guess.
No, I think
Separate mind.
Oh.
There's a board meeting, so
Volley.
they asked me to bring from Mincha. They didn't have Mincha yet, so I'll let you know.
Wonderful.
When they're not, yeah.
Should we just send them in to you for Meir?
If anybody's coming from Mincha,
No, it's different for Meir.
40. 12 minutes are coming from Meir.
yeah, 5:42 they said.
So we should send them to you?
Send them to the second floor.
Second floor?
Yeah.
Second floor. Okay.
Check.
Beautiful. So now, let's continue. So now, one mitzias is that they use it to bake, which I believe in the world of sourdoughs is, no? We should send anyone that comes down from America, we should send them up. No?
Unless you're gonna make your own menu.
I don't think they're gonna have a minion if
So
you're
they
all
set
up
them
there.
on the second
Second floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. In the world of sourdough and things like that, it's very common. Is that it's used as a measuring cup. That's how it's used.
You can use anything else.
Nothing else. Good. But now you're going to have an issue. Look, it's used as a measuring cup. But now, if you only use it for sourdough, so what are the items that you're measuring? Only raw ingredients.
Flour and water.
Ah, we use it for water. So now you're not using it for only raw ingredients. Very good. Okay. And it's two pieces or it's one piece?
The last, I think it's connected.
Less connected?
I don't think there's screws on it.
Not connected.
No, I don't think there's screws. I think it's connected.
One entity. One chapsa. Okay. That's one way of using a food scale. The other way of using a food scale is for a diet. And then there's within that world, it breaks off. There are people who mamish like they won't put food in their mouth unless they weigh it. You know, they put it on. You have 200 grams of this and X many calories of this. They figure it out. Some they use it as epis. They like to know. They like to know, what they're eating. So now, with those mitziasim, what do we think? What was I thinking? Let them weigh in.
If they use it as a measuring and then take it and put it in their cereal bowl, then eat it out of the cereal bowl, so it's would that require tefillah or not?
If it's regular food, if it's prepared food, why not? It's a regular prepared food. What's the difference between that and a measuring cup?
Because that was like,
It's a bowl. It's a bowl. It's for all intents and purposes.
You don't have to eat out of it.
It's a serving bowl.
but it's not a cereal
Oh, good. What you're trying to say is you have the aruch shulchan that maybe never comes to the table, but it's a problem because these things are small, and the chaver that mamish are hooked on their diet, they'll bring it to the table, and they'll take the food from the cereal box, pour it into the scale, and then put it on their bowl. So I don't think you have that svara. It's food holder, so food holder.
It's holder. I don't think. I don't
Food holder requires tefillah. Food holder requires
It's not
tefillah.
a food holder. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though it holds your food,
Okay.
I don't know.
Not coming to the table was being confused because
Correct.
it's stuck in the oven, not like.
No, but if there was an
Not
item.
in the kitchen.
No, there are going to be certain things that their mahus is not a suited
Pot doesn't
item.
come to the.
Good. The answer is, but a pot, once something is the item itself, and you don't have that sorry. I agree with you. One could have said a scale. Again, if one doesn't know how a scale is used, one could have said the scale sits in the kitchen and never leaves the kitchen, and you're crazy. You're crazy. I don't know. I definitely think it should be titled to make a bracha.
Wait, I don't know why does it need to feel at all?
Because yours, it's used for water. It's a measuring cup for water. Measuring cup for water for sure needs tefillah. Water is you don't have any svar to be patir from tefillah. I don't have any svar on it. The only svar I can think
Flour
of.
goes in first,
Who cares?
so the water's not usable.
Who cares? That's the way you use it. Whatever the water
That's the
first.
type one. I didn't tell
I don't know. Now the only what one could say is that if one is nervous, it's going to break because it's electric. One is nervous, it's going to break. So then you have all the svaras about things that could break. You have all the svaras. I don't know. Again, this is a big in my mind after learning everything. A shtickle sarach Ian. I would think it needs to be law, and I think it's very different than a meat thermometer. That in a moment we're gonna have a lot of svaras to be made along because a meat thermometer is there's the food, and it's giving me knowledge about the food. This is used to measure the food to cook. It's a very different process. This is part of the cooking. Let's just go into the world of sourdough. It would seem the mitzias is which require tefillah, and I don't even know why one wouldn't make a bracha on it. L'chayra, I say l'chayra because I'm not sure.
So how do I know if I should title it? I think it's gonna break, but like then it's $20. So buy new. Like
I don't know. I don't know, and the problem is we don't really have guidance from the Pais given this because no, we do. What should I tell you? I'm sorry, Rabbi Forrest over here concurs. Scale food tefillah with a bracha.
He's literally tells us that it's not going to break. You just
No, he doesn't. He's not mitzvah for that far. I agree with you. Let's say someone would say, I have it's a bakery and they have this very fancy, expensive item. The nerve is going to break. So yeah, as far as if that we spoke about to be seimichan, but which it's not a stira. I mean that means that the item needs to be with a bracha.
Right.
Or Shmuel Gamneski agrees the item needs to be with a bracha. He just it's going to break. Right. The item you go with the guy also needs to be with a bracha.
Right.
So l'chayra, I would think it's tefillah with a bracha. I don't know of another svara at the moment. If anyone has any other knowledge, also you don't have a lot of electric svaras that it's plugged in because they're battery operated. So you lost all those svaras.
just take out the batteries before.
You lost all those svaras. Chayr. Now you I don't know. I told you everything I know right now. I don't have any more knowledge. Right. A fridge You don't table. The shell in the fridge, that's the tell you what the shell would be, the bins. The bins. So over here, if you look at the next page, this is a massive chumrah, and I don't believe this is correct.
They're made out of plastic, is that what?
I don't believe, no, they make metal ones. Glass. Glass fridge things. So the next page, I've written down over there, fruit and vegetable bin, tefillah, without a bracha. Now, what's the reason? The reason is, now, what should you ask me? Why would you say no tefillah?
Storage.
Storage doesn't pot from tefillah, it's no bracha. Why would you say no tefillah? We decided a second ago. Or shulchan.
Doesn't come to the table.
Oh. So this is apparently, what do you say? No? So this apparently is a fight of people who use their vegetable bins. There are people.
Nobody in the world takes it out.
So
You know how to take that out of the fridge.
I'm going to tell you, I will tell you what broke out in Keilim. This I vividly remember, this is about 7 years ago, but I vividly remember that apparently they're a chevra. What nationality they're from, I was in a very multinational Keilim, so maybe they're from countries like England and the like, but when they cook large vegetable things, why us Americans, we're so silly. We take 2 tomatoes and bring it down. I take 2 potatoes. So what do? Is take up the ganze bin and put it on the counter. So from everyone's response over here, I believe it's conclusive. You should try it for sure. Yeah, Ray Rydell is the judge for the Shalom Bites. Okay, when your wife, what in the world is wrong with you? That's for you, so break the bin, pulling it out. Lamaisa. You don't need tefillah. That's why I wrote on the bottom of here. It's a chumrah. I don't know. I don't think us Americans.
You went stringent with tefillah without a bracha on there.
And this one, in some cases. No, this one's sure. I would write the other way. The answer is no tefillah. And if you bring it,
Also, the glass.
they are glass again. I'm talking about glass.
Can I switch it?
You can switch whatever you want. It's your paper. Fridge shelves. Fridge shelves are no tefillah. Garlic press. That's a very good example.
What is that?
I feel like I'm full.
I know.
It takes off the shell?
I understand. We learn these things.
We
You
do.
go
We
home.
need
pictures.
The brisker of, they say before he left Keilim, he would read a newspaper every day.
No, it's those things.
A brisker of, one of the they say he would ask for the newspaper. He would skim through it for a few minutes. He had what to talk about with his wife over the dinner table. So now you can talk about garlic press. Garlic press. What's a garlic press? What's the answer? Garlic press is an item that you put the garlic in and he crushes it.
Is garlic considered raw though?
You can eat that raw.
No, so what garlic do you put in there? Garlic you put in there, a clove,
Yeah.
it crushes it, and then where do you put that? You eat it there. You put it in like salad dressings often.
Minced garlic.
Makes minced garlic. Minced garlic you go use the garnish.
bracha.
Yeah, no, sometimes you just want to tell them that Myers and second floor.
With the bracha.
With a bracha.
Why not?
With a bracha.
Level up.
With a bracha. With a bracha.
Well, it's something essential.
Conference room on the second floor. We're a messenger, as they say. Don't kill the messenger. Second floor. Put on your hard hat, I think.
Garlic, you can't tell you.
Garlic. So what do you want to say? You want to say with a bracha?
What's it different than a lemon zester? We didn't say anything about it.
Oh, this is touching. Oh, it's the same thing.
I know.
Yeah.
You say we spoke about the lemon guy, the lemon crusher. We did. I showed you pictures of the thing. It was on sale on Amazon, $5. The yellow one, remember? And the higher we said that was aluminum.
The question is, is garlic if he eaten raw, which I think the answer is yes.
So no. So I'll tell you why I wrote here without a bracha. You don't eat the garlic. This is a good like thing to think about. You don't eat the garlic raw. It's used. You're learning now bishlakim. So you just all started that. What happens if I have a taroives of something that's nechel chai with something that's inu nechel? How do we view it? So we hear garlic is an entity that itself I don't eat raw. Only when I do another process to it. So who told us that the process that has to be done is a cooking process? We heard from Sakit Shel Shchita that the dough is raw, then I cook it. Not dough. The camel's not dough. Camel. The animal is not dough. You have to cook it. But maybe any item that is raw that needs another process done to it.
So the sugar then you lost.
Another tick and done to
So
it.
sugar you lost the same thing also then. No one eats sugar raw. Plain.
What?
I take offense to that comment.
You put it in your coffee, so garlic you put on your. It's not plain.
It doesn't cook it.
You don't.
So what do you do to garlic? You can't. If you put it in your salad dressing.
cubes.
Yeah.
Sugar cubes.
Tastes like garlic.
What do you mean? Exactly. You put garlic in your salad dressing. It's the same thing as putting sugar in your coffee.
The Chassidish mikvahs, they have sugar cubes everywhere.
When it's a Chassidish.
No, we're being
Just when
That's
it's
the
a
point.
Chassidish mikvah. Yeah. Where is it?
Same way you don't just usually scoop sugar and put it in your mouth and you do a little tikka to it. I'm not saying cooking.
No,
You put it in your Rice
garlic.
Krispies, it's in your
No,
Rice
so
Krispies cereal,
no,
they're all the same thing.
no. So there's an obvious chilek. One you're doing something to item, one you're not. I would agree with you on other items like lemon. I would hear the same svar. Like the lemon, when you squeeze the lemon juice, maybe there you also do. But here the garlic needs something else done to it. You need to really mix it in a salad dressing.
You can top it. You can top pizza with that?
And then you eat it raw, and then you cook
I don't
it.
know, I'm not a garlic person.
I think you top pizza with it, and then you cook
it's
it.
garlic powder.
Yeah, it's garlic powder. But if you're gonna hagoo for garlic powder, it's cooked.
Nobody eats raw garlic ever?
I've never heard of garlic on top of a pizza. Let's just stop.
Does anyone eat raw garlic?
Yeah.
Garlic
What do you eat on
powder.
Friday night? It's a Gemara.
Garlic
Yeah,
powder.
but I don't think
You never heard of garlic
Yeah.
powder? Cooked or not cooked? It's gross.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it.
No, so hagoo. That's
I
why.
said.
No, I have an example. A
No
salad
one eats
dressing.
garlic raw.
Salad
Put
dressing.
it in the dressing.
Someone said, what's going to tell about my someone said, salad dressing. But I think that's called a tikkun dunted. I think that's why I was nervous about a bracha. And yeah.
Even salad dressing, you do raw garlic?
Also, it's like the svar of miluchan kibishulan. Putting in a
Yes.
salad dressing with.
Correct.
it's-
Meaning something. I agree. I believe that's why garlic press. You would not make a bracha.
Yeah, even in salad dressing, I'm pretty sure it's cooked or roasted or something.
It's not cooked. What do you mean?
It's not cooked, but it's
Just minced and put it in the salad dressing?
Yeah, then it's with oil and vinegar. It's items that do something to it.
It has like
Has
a
it's
texture.
cured.
It's
Breaks
what a
it down.
pulverize. Okay, a George Foreman grill.
They still sell it?
Tefillah mit a bracha, very good. Teflon, no bracha. Glass is with a bracha. A hamburger maker.
Shaper?
Plastic.
Obviously a metal one. The shaper, yes, the shaper. The shaper. You put the patty inside, the chopped meat inside, and then you.
And do you use it for cookies?
Same thing as a cookie gun.
Do you ever use it for cookies though?
Do you ever use it for cookies? I do not believe so.
No tefillah.
No tefillah. Why?
Because no one
Raw
eats
is
raw.
It's raw. It's not tikka. It's not a ikr.
It's raw and it's not an acre. So raw and it's not an acre and it can be used for nothing else. I believe, yes, that's why I believe no tefillah. Now, what about the fact you could use it for cookies? No one in the world ever does. No, you can't. When you make, you guys are crazy. When you make cookies, you don't flatten it out. Hafuch.
I don't know what a hamburger. I only know a hamburger filler.
Hamburger filler.
It's in order to get stuff your hamburger. Like, I don't-
Injector. A hand grater.
Like
A hand grater.
2 halves and you filled it.
Oh,
in.
yeah, that's what I'm working.
A hand grater.
Yeah, that's regular knife. English.
And therefore,
Tefillah, bro.
unless you only use it for raw foods, then in a chanam. Correct. A hot plate, no tefillah. We spoke already about a blach.
But what time? It's a knife. A knife you only use for raw foods. You don't make a bracha.
It's shach. Said it's not just shchita. You don't. Let's go the knife. Right?
That to that extent.
Oh, the other nish. How would earn tefillah the bracha? An ice crusher. Ice crusher,
You eat it as is.
and therefore, so chayav tefillah the bracha. I don't know why anyone would say not. I don't know why anyone have any svara. Why not?
For what?
An ice crusher, snow cone maker in English.
Yeah, why it does.
Chayav tefillah the bracha. I don't have any svara not. I don't have any svara not. It's crushing about. You can say it's a minor ticket. That's sure. And they're metal, so
You need it as much.
and you need it.
What
It's
the item is.
the chayav. Which, by the way, it just that creates a big problem because snow cone machines, granted they're not, they are metal, they are electric. Lady, sure. Okay, ice tray, metal.
Metal ice tray.
Also.
To the bracha. Immersion blender. We already spoke about the chayav that the handle has to be titled as well. Immersion heater.
Why are we here? Do you think the toilet must be immersed?
Because again, that's a shayla we never spoke about. I was always chayshish for this Ramesh Sternbach that says the title plug. Someone tiny that maybe the minhag is not that way, and I don't have.
By food processor, you didn't say that. That's all.
I didn't point that out. You're saying no, because the food processor we were titling without the base. That's why.
No, but on the bottom it says, but if you're doing the base,
Yeah. Let's say.
You move
So I have a kasha on Ray Forest. Ray Forest Titan is an immersion heater.
What is that?
Sous vide?
It's the predecessor to the sous vide. It's actually an interesting dimion. Very interesting, actually.
So we never touches food though.
It touches the water.
Water doesn't touch the food.
So that's a shayla in the sous vide. It's a very big shayla in the sous vide, and many ramifications of Shabbos, Hatmana. That's there for a moment. But immersion heater, Madinoi.
What's the
Immersion heater is basically metal coils that you stick into water to heat it up, to make hot water.
The inside of urn, basically.
What?
The inside of urn.
Basically, but they make them like for travel.
You just stick it in.
They just, you have a big, you don't need a it's much easier to travel with. It's mamish coils that get boiling hot, put it on the side of a pot or a cup, boils it up. Chayr the bracha. I don't know why Rabbi Forrest says no bracha. Does anyone know why that would be?
Why would it be different than an urn?
I have no clue. That's why I asked if anyone.
Maybe it's like a stovetop.
Stovetop. Here it's going in the water and I'm drinking the water. It's going in the soup and I'm eating the soup.
Is he talking about that with just water?
It says immersion heater. Don't know. Seder plate.
With a rock.
Favals.
That holds cooked food.
If you don't use cups.
Do you eat from it?
Wait. The cups usually are disposable. Why is it not?
Well, it's not. It's its own item. First of all, they're not always disposable. Fancy, they throw glass cups every year. They're glass. Those aren't disposable, by the way.
No, stop. I think.
The glass ones.
Oh yeah, my friend used like a plastic.
Like the classic bar mitzvah dish.
Like a plastic one thing. You put salt water in it.
It depends.
Yeah, it's classic.
The mice, they make glass ones. You should invest. And they're very pretty. And either way, plastic or glass, it's its own entity. So if you use it with that, then l'chayr no bracha.
Until you put it straight on.
Then you get bracha.
No bracha by tzark tefillah.
You eat stuff from the car?
Then no tefillah.
Right, why do you need tefillah?
No
What do you eat from the car?
Well, it's a serving plate.
Yeah, but
It's a serving plate for plates.
for plates. So it's like a.
I'll give you a good example.
If you're saying if you have the plate.
Yeah, people have a dip, like a rectangle, dip plate, and they put 3 guys in it. The bottom guy doesn't eat tefillah.
No, vadinish.
I don't fadinish, because most people end up using it also for cookies when they want, because it's the perfect size to put cookies on. So then, no, you do have to be careful.
Sifting through and let's use the dish thing.
No, let me say something. You have to just be honest and careful, because if you say, I'm not entitled, that means you have an item in your cabinet that was entitled. And now, when you have an extra dessert, like, we use all the dishes. Where are we going to put those wonderful chocolates that someone gave us for a gift that we need to put on something and make them look pretty, or that you're reusing and you don't want to show that it was ready eaten from, so you have to put a plate to put them on. So you pull out yana dish, you can run into an issue. So it is important to. But anyways, a kara, I think I agree with the chavra. If you always use it with cups, why are you tabling it? I agree.
Well, you just said if it's plastic, then it's bottle.
That's if you use it with cups, then no tefillah at all. If you use it without cups, then we'll hire tefillah with a bracha. Why would we ever get tefillah without a bracha? Doesn't make any sense. Unless it could be my cheshbon was. I'm just like something to be careful with your own mitzvah. It's like, where do you put the lettuce? Lettuce doesn't fit in the cup. So where do you put the lettuce?
It's like hanging over the bowl.
Right. So often the lettuce just gets plopped on top of the kara, and then you using it for lettuce, and then you need a table.
You eat that lettuce or no?
Yeah, it's called mar.
No. You eat the lettuce on top of the car.
That's what you eat first.
What do you mean?
Nah, you're just saying, don't we leave it there?
Right.
I feel like I don't eat anything.
Use that or use the mar for
So yeah, that's what I mean. If you just have a decorative little piece of
I feel like I eat anything
chazer.
on
feel
top.
like most cars are just for like the pointing out, like matzah.
No, what do you mean the charesis? You don't use the charesis in your car?
Not I don't think from the car. I think that's around.
I feel like you should have a bowl.
That's from the bowl.
Separate everything.
Fascinating. Okay, we'll talk about all this Pesach, but
You guys love
the egg. You don't eat the egg.
Carpas.
Yeah.
I don't eat the eggs, but
There's
you don't eat
other
the
eggs
egg.
running around.
Carpas.
What, the carpas like you
Carpas. Carpas. You don't eat the potato, the onion, the parsley.
How many
It goes
potatoes do you
around.
have? You have 3 little things and you have.
So you're the tati.
Six.
Tati gets from
One
there,
course, the other one's
and then everyone gets another bowl. Okay, I think no tefillah unless of that lettuce matzah. Okay, a kashering pot.
The huge ones that they have in front of the Shinskis?
Yeah.
Inside, yeah.
Because wait, when you.
It's yes, that's a pot. and that many people just use it for food.
Nothing to.
Right, so if you have a kashering pot, then no tefillah, because it's only
Unless
for
it's used for food, then
kashering.
it's not a kasher.
That's if you use your food, that's not a
So
kasher.
why do
Very
you have
good.
the why do you have the concept of sacrificial shechita though? Why is it a pot? So it's out of bracha.
Because here, very good, the sacrificial shechita is used on food, just raw food. Kashering pot is not used on anything.
We didn't say that's a tzad though.
Of course.
It's not a.
Of course, it's part of that side. What's that? Of course.
Ever since the fact that it's a tikkun, it's not doesn't count.
Kettle.
With bracha.
Yeah, I don't know what the shell is.
There is no shadow.
Okay, currying machine. Currying machine, we spoke about this extensively. Kiddush cup. Kiddush cup?
Why is this right? Tefillah with the bracha. What's going on here?
Don't look at the note yet, think.
A kiddush cup,
Kiddush cup.
and the inside's what? Silver?
It's all glass.
Glass.
Oh, metal.
Glass?
See the use glass.
So it's silver?
Silver kiddush
So it's a
cup.
metal?
Is it glazed? Is it cool?
No. And it has wine in it.
It's lacquered. It's lacquered.
Nachum Dave. Kiddush cup, Madinai.
With bracha.
No one knows why Kiddush cup would not require a bracha. Think.
No, it's not coated with it. Nothing to do with it.
Kiddush cup would not require bracha because the inside is coated
No, incorrect.
Sure. The inside's usually not silver,
Come on,
no?
you gotta think out of the box,
The
clever.
inside's always silver?
Think out of the box.
Because who sells Kiddush cups?
Ah, very good. The stoma, many want to say of a Kiddush cup here is that it's made by Yidden. It's a tzarfa.
Interesting.
Stoma. Now, I wrote on the bottom over here, if you know it was for sure made by a non-Jew, then you would make a bracha.
Yes, stomach's made right, yeah.
A tzarfa, or whatever your
Especially
Kiddush
the
cup.
ones with grapes and elephants and elephants on the side.
That's what many say. Now, I'll be honest with you, Forrest doesn't do that. He says Kiddush cup is seal of the bracha. He's not chayshish for that. It is a makamin. It is a makamin. Okay. A knife sharpener.
No.
No what? Good. Knife for arts and crafts. No tefillah. Kaisha al yahu.
Same with
You drink, we
Oh, very good. Status Talia Minna. That's what I wrote over here, which is l'chayra, very fascinating. I just was telling someone in Shabbos, to my father actually on Yom we all think minhagim on Pesach. We all think it's only one minhag. It's what we do. Then you get married and you think that your wife's family is from Mars because they don't do anything like you do. And then you learn about the halachas of Pesach and you find out that there's the most fascinating things that people do. So, Kaisha Aliyah, do we drink from it or not?
That's a minute.
What do you do?
I drink from it.
And drink from the mamish?
Kiddush for the next day.
Oh, Kiddush the next day. That's the extra minhag. What do you do?
pour out and drink it.
You knock the table to show that Elio came in, obviously.
I told him for Elio.
Right, and then what? Oh, you took it for Elio. Very good, no.
We use it by
Are you allowed? You gotta do that.
You drink straight from it.
With the bracha.
You pour it into. So those who don't like to waste, first they shake the table. Oh, Elio's here, and then they pour it out and they give it out to other people. Some pour it directly back into the wine bottle, and some pour it into the garbage. And that will depend if you make a bracha on it or not. Okay.
If you pour it back into the wine bottle, does the wine bottle need a tefillah?
Oh, so that's the one share we never spoke about, Chevra. This is we have to hack one
We
day.
skipped it one.
We have to hack those who make their own wine, those who make their own beer. The Chevra that make their own beer. I gave a shir about this. I just found it recently on Turning Time. I have no clue. I don't take any achrayis. This is like 4 years ago. It was in I was got the Beanstalk Yeshiva. It was a fascinating shir that they were making beer. So do you have to toivel the beer? Where do you get the beer bottles from?
Old beer.
Yeah, you don't buy a beer bottle. I mean,
Why
some
use
people-
bottles?
No,
You drink the beer and then you reuse the bottles. You have to toivel it.
Why not?
Good. So why not? And you can ask further. How are you allowed to drink from it the first time?
If you're gonna know you're gonna use it.
No, even if not.
Oh, we said Ramesha with the
Choshen
just
is
to hold
like
it.
that,
it's
you know,
not-
Good. So there's all those svaras. There's a bunch of svaras
That's
there.
why
And then-
you're using
The
it.
company's making it to throw out.
Yeah.
Yes. But then you have to get that Ramesha's ass. 1 second. Now, if my kushal if I take the kushal and I pour it back into the wine bottle, why isn't that called reusing the wine? And now you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Good. That's that whole share. Let's leave that. Measuring cup tefillah of the bracha, measuring spoon tefillah of the bracha, meat grinder, no bracha. Why? Raw. meat grinder is used on raw meat. Yeah, it's a knife. You just said a second ago. I understand you were the biggest
It's not
proponent.
necessary. It's not necessary.
I understand. When we came to the other,
Electric knife.
no, what we had another knife item that you were very violent that you needed to have a little bit.
Electric.
Hand grater. You said tefillah with the bracha.
I don't know what a meat grinder is.
It grinds up meat.
No, because meat grinder is only on raw. Hand
Oh, it's only on raw. But you told me a hand grater. What was your lashon? It's a knife. So now you understand why a meat grinder l'chayr is tefillah without a bracha.
With a tefillah.
You can't.
Why not?
If you believe it's a knife, then it's a sign of shchita.
It's a knife, or it's like one of those like circle, like
What's inside it? Is a knife inside it?
It's inside
liver
it.
chopper.
You said on a hand grater, your longest was it's a knife.
What is a liver chopper?
Liver chopper is like one of those like dome, like what, like.
Oh, the sickle. I like that guy. I like that guy. Okay, a meat grinder l'chayr is tefillah bracha. It's a sign of shchita. Meat tenderizer. Don't know what that is. I think it's a meat grinder.
Literally, you don't do it straight up the meat, though. You put it in a bag.
What is it?
Ooh. So I have written over here that the meat tenderizer and probably the meat grinder as well, you use it for cookies, pretzels, and nuts.
Yeah, but you don't touch the food. You put it in a bag and you smash it.
Yeah, that's only if you don't want to make a mess. But some people just throw the pretzels inside.
I'm
Yeah.
taking it for the meat.
Oh, I see. It's a hat brush. Yeah.
Hat brush?
I use the back of a spoon.
You have a metal hat brush? What just happened here? He's in the mikvah with his garlic press. Okay. A meat thermometer.
Little thing.
Now you show a meat thermometer.
Oh, does it have to be 12 volt?
Meat thermometer. So l'chayr you tefillah without a bracha, but if you're nervous it's going to break, there's makom not to tell you.
What if it's attached to the oven?
Well,
Then that's another star. Very good. Very good star. I like that. A lot of them nowadays they attach to the grill. They're probes that they attach to the
It's
grill.
not coming.
only used on the grill.
On the grill, and it's attached to the grill. So l'chayr then it would have more svaras to not table it. But in those cases, the item comes off. So why not table it? Who cares? It's just a metal stick.
How about the oven grates?
The oven grates are tully. We didn't get there yet. We're going to get there in a few minutes.
Okay, so what do you meat thermometers?
So do they touch your food? What do you put in your oven grates?
Let me neither confirm or deny that there might be challahs on there sometimes.
So challah, good. So even if there's challah on there, challah will never require tefillah. Ramesh says challah is just drying it out, quote unquote.
Exactly.
But what do you ever put schnitzel directly on there on top of a
No,
just
we have
aluminum
a
foil?
We have a separate, on top of aluminum foil, yes.
So if you put schnitzel
Just leave now.
directly on top of aluminum foil, then the l'chayr, the oven grates should require tefillah.
But if I have other grates under the schnitzel thing, that'll be
Then it would be fine. Or if you just put the schnitzel in a pan,
Right.
which is the way to get out of it because no one wants to have with oven grates.
You just
Why not? I don't know. No one likes tabling the oven grates. I'm not sure why not.
I would have had a problem initially, but now like.
Why you can do it now?
Well, even though it's coated with whatever seasoning.
Do you care about that garbage that's on it?
I don't, but don't you have to always scrub it off so there's no
So
seeds up?
yeah, but if you want it there, it'll be okay.
I'm
You
fine
don't.
with it,
Yeah, you could table it with that on there. That's a very nice chiddush. I want to speak out. We can end with that.
There's
Well,
almost
that-
been, a lot of times the grills come pre-seasoned, not like I'm scrubbing the seasoning off and forget kasha is just like.
Yeah. So it's a good shiloh. Sam, oven grates. You know what? We'll pick up a mirror tomorrow. Mitzvah Shem. We'll talk more. Right.
But a lot of appliances come pre-greased.
So pre-grease first. You have to make sure they're kosher.
It's kosher. Yeah.
Sam, it's a lot of them are
Yeah.
because a lot of them the seasoning is just.
It's vegetable oils, but some of them have the hechsher on.
Yeah. So anything that's pre-seasoned, you have to make sure it's kosher. Stop. If it's kosher, what do you do now about tefillah? It's a very good show. Let's pick up from here tomorrow. Mitzvah Shem.